Oh, there once was a hero named Ragnar the Red, who came riding to Whiterun from old Rorikstead. And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade, as he told of bold battles and gold he had made. But then he went quiet, did Ragnar the Red, when he met the shield maiden Matilda, who said, "Oh, you talk and you lie and you drink all our mead."
Sven the Minstrel is a Nord bard who lives in Riverwood with his mother Hilda. Sven can generally be found inside the Sleeping Giant Inn playing his beloved lute, as he is a graduate from the Bard's College. Sven is constantly competing with Faendal the Wood Elf for the heart of Camilla Valerius, and he will do whatever in order to have her hand in holy matrimony. Today's battle report is a game of Elder Scrolls Call to Arms using the Delve mode rules and playing as a solo mode game. And so today's game, we're going to be playing Delve mode scenario for Realm of the Dead. Now the setup is pretty simple. There is a treasure zone on a bisected half of the table, and the player, me, will deploy on the other half in a little semicircle around the opposite corner. Now, we are here trying to claim objectives, treasure, and all of that. There are some objectives in addition to treasure being placed in the treasure zone. Enemies are placed on these different pieces. And then we've got the ancient graves, meaning most of the enemies are going to be dead. We're going to use a whole Draugr adversary lot. Victory conditions, it's pretty simple. We're trying to destroy the amount of enemy models that we can. And then obviously objectives, treasure, and other things like quests and events can also generate additional VP for us. Now, depending on how many VP we score, depends on how great our victory will be. Though, if at any time we wipe the opposing force, we will score a solid victory. To get the solid victory, though, if we don't wipe the Draugr off the table, we will be needing 16 VP. 10 to 15 will give us a marrow victory, and 0 to 9 will give us a loss, because we'll be playing with about 160-ish septums on the table. So with that said, let's get cracking on and check out the roster of heroes that we've taken for the adventurers in this Delve mode scenario. And so here we have 160 septums of adventurers that we're going up against the Draugr in this solo play game. This Delve mode scenario. So leading them, we're going to have Sven. The reason we have Sven leading the party is his path of shadow. This allows us to take 2 of our 3 party members as shadow. The adventurers, your party leader determines which one you can sort of have the majority of. Now, Sven himself, he's in Hold Guard's armor. He's got an Imperial bow. And he's also got a Skyforged sword there and a potion of minor healing. Joining him, we have the Dunmer Thief, who has Imperial light armor, the Elven dagger, then has throwing knives as well as a potion of minor healing. Lastly, we have Vostag, who has got the Banded Iron armor, Iron shield, Orcish war axe, and then 2 potions, 1 of minor healing and 1 of minor stamina. And so, as always, we're playing solo mode, so we are going for all the different oaths in this. I'll search all the treasure tokens, the game will end with no adversary models in play, and my party will remove an enemy model using a sneak attack. All of those will be attempted in this game. And so deployment looks like so. The adventurers deploy down in this corner, and we are going to be trying to get through the ancient grave site. We have some Draugr on this side. We have the Draugr Overlord in the middle there, some skeleton archers around the back, and another Draugr and skeleton archer up in that top corner. You can see we have the 3 objectives, 1, 2, and 3, and then the treasure tokens 1, 2, 3, 4, and where is... yeah, it's just 4 of the treasure tokens in this one. So that is the board at deployment. So before the game begins, we needed to draw our quest, and we've got Extermination. Requirements: scenario must use adversaries, which it is, and then there must be no adversaries on the board when the game ends. So we will need to complete this by killing everything.
Got to keep my eyes open. Damn dragons could swoop down at any time.
Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. First activation is going to be a powered up march there, move with Sven. He's moved 9 inches, but this does bring him in range of the Draugr here, so we are going to make a shot. And so Sven taking a shot, we're going to aim as well. This will mean we use all our stamina for the turn, So Sven needs a 3 or less with a bow. That's a 7, goes to 4. The helmet will only give us piercing at short range, which we are not, so we will miss with our bow shot, and that'll be Sven's turn. So now we've got to decide which one of the adversaries will activate. We've got the little tokens all set up over here, or rather, not set up. But it is a 1 will be the master adversary, the Draugr Overlord. 2, 2, 3, and 5, 4 will be the Draugr, and 5, 6, and 7 will be Skeleton Archer. So which one have we got? 7, that'll be a last Skeleton Archer, the furthest one on the table. So we're going to see what it does. That will just be a objective, I believe. Wrong with that. Still getting used to the charts again. That is a move, so it's just going to move directly towards the opposing force. And that skeleton moves there, but he is out of range of any of our fighters. So we go into the next activation for the next fighter, which will just simply be Vostag making a move. So this is going to be the second and last activation for the adversaries now in turn 1. So they get a 1, which is going to be the master adversary. So we'll roll and see what the Draugr from Path of Might does. That there was an attack, so he's going to move towards the closest enemy and try and do an attack. He's not going to be able to attack with anything he's got, but he will move towards us. And so here comes the Draugr Overlord. Our last activation, pretty simple though, is just going to be spending a point of stamina to move up the thief there as well, keeping our party together, especially with that Draugr Overlord coming around the corner. And so with that, that'll be the first turn done. Nothing gained from it so far, except a Draugr Overlord coming right up towards our fighters. So we are going to draw our first event of the game, which will be open ground. We choose one of our models. That model adds 2 to its basic movement allowance across open terrain until its next activation. We're going to choose Vostag for that one. And so it potentially would bring more adversaries in play where we don't have any more in the adversary pool. So with that, that'll be the end of turn 1. So now we go to the adversaries taking the advantage for turn 2.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
And so let's see what adversary is going to start the turn activating, and it will be number 5, which is the Skeleton Archer, the one that is closest, so it's actually the one at the back of the board there. Seeing what said Skeleton Archer will do, that is the helmet, which means that is objective. So we'll move towards the next objective, which is just going to do there. And that will be that. Sven will now go and move, and he's going to try and take a close range shot at the Draugr Overlord. So we are green, yellow, yellow going into the Draugr Overlord. That will be a 9. -1 will do nothing, because that will not hit. So that is that for Sven. So the second activation for the adversaries will be number 3. That is the Draugr, which is the one actually furthest across the table there. So seeing what the Draugr will do, helmet on them means objective, and that one is already on the objective, so it will not do anything else. And so Vostag is actually going to move, getting his extra 2 inches of movement. Now he's going to try and draw that Draugr Overlord in there. So we have moved him, and then he's throwing up a block, having to spend a point of stamina to do so. So he keeps the point of stamina that he's got on him. But that means the Draugr Overlord will now activate. So seeing what the Draugr Overlord does, I'm pretty sure it'll just go and attack him. So it's going to move in, and it'll fight. And so it gets to spend its first point of stamina, so we'll be doing a power attack. So green and 3 yellow, that'll be a 7, 5 to Draugr Overlord. So that will hit on the Draugr Overlord for 3 points of damage. So Vostag is going to have to make a block test. He needs a 3 or less. Does not get it, so he fails his block, but that means he will now just get his base armor, which is red. So he is ignoring 1 point of piercing, which there is none. So red to try and ignore 3 points of damage, and he ignores 1. And the helmet will allow me to roll an additional yellow. 2, I ignore all 3 with Vostag. And so then in comes the Dumber Thief, who will go in and now make an attack after spending a point of stamina to get into the combat. So he's not going to boost anything. We've just got red, green, and let's see what we can get. And that'll be a 5 on the Dumber Thief. Will not be enough to get a hit. And so with that, that'll be the end of turn 2's activation. So we go into the event phase for the turn. And what do we get? Hunter and the Hunted. Place 3 NPC tokens as close to the center of the board as possible, but no closer than 6 inches to each other. These are the trapped hunters. They may not be interactive with your party. Perform the aid action by taking each token out of play and you'll be rewarded with some victory points. And so here we have the 3 hunter tokens now placed in the center of the table. There are no enemies to bring it back onto the table, so it will now go over to the adventurers taking advantage for turn 3.
Guard might get nervous. A woman approaches with a weapon drawn.
Right, Vostag will go. We're going to make a power attack. We do get a green dice already in there thanks to outnumbering, so we are going to have this many. That'll be a crit, so we add black in there as well. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage. The cross swords actually will let us add an extra yellow, so we add 5, 6, 7 now points of damage on the Draugr Overlord from Vostag. And so it has 2 yellow. The only way it survives is by rolling 4 damage saves, 2, and it'll go down from Vostag. Lovely work, Vostag. After his attack, Vostag will then just move over to one of the hunters getting ready for next turn to make the special action. And so, first adversary to activate. There's no number 1 in the pile anymore. That is a 5, so that will be the furthest one, again, of the Draugr. No, that'll be the closest skeleton, sorry. That is that skeleton there. So we're going to see what that skeleton's going to do after seeing its master destroyed. Cross swords will mean Path of Shadow attack. So it's going to move up and attack the closest visible fighter. And so it will take a shot at Vostag. It'll aim it, so it's moved into short range. That'll be a 4. That'll hit for 4 points of damage on Vostag, who will now have a red dice to try and save. 2 of them. So that'll be all it saves. Vostag will take 2 wounds. And so the Dunmer Thief will then move up. So we're going to attack after spending another point of stamina. That'll be a hit for 3 points of damage on the skeleton. It'll try and make a save. Saves 1, takes 2, but that'll take it out. And so second activation for the adversaries will be number 7. That is the second to the last skeleton archer, so it's actually this one up the top here. Seeing what that one will do now. Helmet is actually a flea, so it's going to run as far away as it can up to the back of the board. So Sven will just move into the forest behind this tree here where the enemy can no longer see him, and he will make a sneak. So turn 3 will come to an end. There are 2 victory points on the table for the adventurers now. We are going to go into the next, which is evasive maneuvers. You can choose one of your models engaged from an enemy. There are none of that, so we can completely... If there's no eligible model, we can draw another card. Right, so we draw the next card, which is Secret Path. You choose one friendly model that isn't staggered or incapacitated. That model may immediately move 6 inches, ignoring terrain and other models. All we did there was choose the Thief just to move the inches, so he's right next to the token now, able to do that in this turn. But with that, it'll now go to turn 4, and it'll now be the advantage for the adversaries of the turn. So we're going to see which one of them will activate first. Should be said as well that one skeleton archer did spawn over here, getting ready to maybe hurt Sven. If he stops sneaking, he might have a bit of a trouble.
No lollygagging.
Today's battle report is also brought to you by Mithras Games. Fantastic tabletop wargaming mats out of New Zealand. Now, Mithras Games has a variety of different mats. We've got the fantastic Desert Red, the nice Tundra Green, and the frosty Ice Blue here as well. All of these mats are a really nice high quality, generally very similar to how you would get your mouse pads for your mats, but fantastic high quality mats. We love them. Mithras Games are a fantastic supporter of the channel. You can pop on over to their website, especially if you're local to Australia or New Zealand. They're a fantastic company to help support. And so, seeing what adversary will activate first, we draw number 2, which is the second Draugr, which will be this one here. So seeing what that Draugr will do to us, cross swords on the Draugr will be a move. So we'll move into range of Vostag. So it will try and attack him. That'll be a 3. That'll hit for 2 points. Vostag needs to save these. So 2 points saved, luckily. Because otherwise he could be in trouble. Alright, Sven is then going to target the new skeleton on the table. We're going with a sneak attack, so this will add red into our dice pool. And we're also aiming it, so that'll be, wow, a critical failure. And because it's got direct line of sight, we will lose our sneak token. And so on to the second adversary, we will have number 4 activate, which is the skeleton. This one right here, who has just seen Sven try to shoot it and is now going to shoot back. Potentially shoot back, because it's not within 8 inches, so we will roll to see what it does. 3, that is just move, so it will move into short range there, and now make a shot at Sven. And so, taking a shot at Sven, it'll crit fail as well. The 2 worst archers in all of Skyrim. Vostok will go next. For a free action, we are just going to drink our potion of minor healing, which will heal a yellow dice worth of damage, which heals nothing, unfortunately. So that'll be wasted. But we will then go with an attack into that Draugr there. And we will be aiming the attack. So that will not hit with a 10. Ouch. So that is 2 activations for the enemy. So now we go into our Dumber Thief, who's going to do the special action to rescue the hunter there. So we can remove this token off the table. And that'll gain us a VP. And then we're just going to make a move here onto the objective. End of the round. We'll now see what the objective is as we control it. What sort of objective? It is a puzzle token. So we can try and solve it. It's an intelligence test, so it's intelligence 2. We do not solve the puzzle. And so, with that, we will go into the event for turn 4, halfway through the game now. That is Roergatus's letter. At the start of the next turn, you place a spare NPC token on the board. No closer than 9 inches to any of your models. This is Leonatus. So, we can place him down. And so, we will place Roergatus letters down here with Leonatus. So that'll be the skull, and meanwhile these are the hunters up here. So advantage for turn 5 now. Turn 5 will go to the adversary, so we're going to see which one will activate.
You know what?
And so the activation will go to number 5, which is the first skeleton, which is this one again. So it's going to take another action potentially at Sven. Unless it flees, which is what we want. Helmet will be a flea, so that is the best thing we could have hoped for. So it's going to start running that way. It will try and take a shot at Sven though, so just 2 yellow, and that'll crit, but because it's got the shambles rule, it can't crit, but it will do a point of damage, so Sven will have to take his armor test on yellow, and he ignores nothing, so we'll take a wound. Vostok will be next, so we're going to make an attack into that Draugr this time. Aiming and hopefully doing something this time. That'll crit it, so that is good. That is an awful lot of damage. There is nothing a Draugr can do against 6 points of damage. Plus, well, actually, that's actually another yellow in there. 6, 7, 8 points of damage, and it goes down. We will then actually use a special action to save this particular hunter as well, getting us another CP. Or another VP, sorry, taking us to 5, so we can actually potentially heal Vostok at the end of this round. Next activation for the enemies, though, we are going to go with number 3, which is the Draugr over on the other side of the table. So, seeing what that Draugr potentially does now, rolling a black dice, checking the table, Path of Might. That is objective, so he is just going to sit there once more. And so our thief will go over there with a move sneak, but we're actually going to check the chest. So it's open. The only thing we're going to make out for is check for traps. It is not trapped, so we do gain a treasure token. And so we gain the Ancient Nord Battle Axe. So unfortunately, we have only one 2-handed weapon wielder, and that is Sven. So maybe we can get this to him. So Sven will move up, and we're going to take a shot. We actually can't aim because we've got no stamina left. Sven's only got 2 stamina. But that'll hit regardless for 2 points of damage on the skeleton. So seeing what it does, stops one, takes one, and that will kill that one. And so that'll be all of the activations, end of the round. First things first, we're going to spend 5 of our septums that we have gotten during the course of this game. and that is going to allow us to flip Vostag over and get rid of those wounds on him. So he is going to level up. And then Sven will now check his objective, which is a puzzle one as well. So we can try an intelligence test here on Sven. And he will succeed. So that'll actually net us 3 victory points for completing it and a treasure card. So drawing a treasure, Sven will actually draw the Poacher's Axe. So green, yellow, and adds an extra red versus beast. No beast in this though. And I think that's slightly weaker than the sword he already has, which is green-red. But we'll take it nonetheless. And so next we have our event, which is Calm Before the Storm. If the blizzard rules are in effect, which they are not, they cease. However, if they are not, they will now come into play. So with that, we'll now roll for the next turn.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
So this is the start of turn 6 now. And what will happen in this, first of all, we'll roll to see what happens with the blizzard. It's a 4, so that'll just be normal line of sight. And so we will have 2 adversaries go up and deploy there as well from that event. But it is now turn 6, which means the adventurers will get the advantage. And so we are doing a move with our sneak. So we will now make our attack into the Draugr. We will hit for 3 points of damage plus the Oblivion symbol, which will do nothing on our throwing knife. So the Draugr will now need to try and stop 3 points of damage. Stops 1, takes 2, and that'll take out the Draugr. That'll actually also complete Strike from the Shadows as our oath, which will gain us a VP for killing an enemy model with a sneak attack. But because we're also near the chest and we are adventurers, we will get to search that for free. Ooh, it is locked, but we do have lockpicking on this model. So a 5 or less, or be a 4 or less with that. And a crit, so we successfully unlock the chest. And with the crit, that means it will generate 2 treasure tokens instead of 1. And so we find a potion of plentiful stamina and a fine dwarven sword. These will be pretty good to go in our inventory. We'll put that in quick slot for the stamina. And the sword can go in the inventory along with our battle axe. And so, first adversary to activate for this turn, number 5, is the first of the skeleton archers, which is now the one at the back over here. Seeing what that model will do. Hopefully a helmet. Nope, that'll move, I believe. No. Yep, it is a move. I'm just going to actually try and take a pot shot now at Vostag. So, roll and see what it does. Critical fail. Next up, we just have a move for Vostag. He's going to go around and perform the special action and rescue the last of the hunters, giving us another VP there for rescuing them. Then going to look and see what the next adversary to activate will be. And so we are going to have number 6, which is the second last skeleton archer, which is that one there. So seeing what that one does, will it come back? It fled before. It's now going to move. So after its move, it actually ends in range of Vostag there, so it'll take a shot at him. And will crit, but don't do any crit. So 2 points of damage on Vostag. Red dice, he ignores 1, and that'll allow me to add a yellow with a shield, so ignores 2 and is fine. Sven will then move up, and we're going to take a shot at that skeleton warrior just there through the forest. That'll hit for 2. And that'll all be piercing 1 as well. So that means skeleton only can defend nothing, so it'll go down. And so with that, that'll be the end of the round. So we have another 5 seconds. So we have wounds on Sven, so we're going to level him up. So he will be the next one of our fighters to level up. And so we draw, we get Blessings of Talos. Unfortunately, we have no models with Thun, but we do add an adversary into play. So a Draugr comes back into play over there. So going into turn 7 now.
No matter what else happens, the gods will always be grateful for everything you've done.
Alright, so the adversaries will be activating first in round 7. So, seeing which one activates first, it is number 7. That is the skeleton archer over on the far side. So seeing what that particular archer will do now. Oblivion symbol will be on the path of shadow and attack. So it will move so it's in short range, and it can still use a point of stamina here to get the bonus additional hit die, which will hit for 2 points. Yes, Vostag will now need to save. He saves 1, and the Oblivion symbol will do nothing, so he will take a wound. We'll move up with the Dumber Thief, who's now going to make an attack and is still sneaking around. So it will be green, red, and another red in there, I believe, with the dagger. It will be double red. So we'll also aim it. It's a critical fail, so we will lose our sneak, and that dragon will activate straight back into us with a yellow, black, green, which will crit us as well. This is not good. So that'll be 5 points of damage. So that is 5 points of damage plus piercing. We stop 1. So that is 4 wounds, and that will be well more than enough. So because it's actually going to do too much. Stamina check on the thief. Critical fail, and the thief will actually just outright die. Well, that was unexpected. So we go on the next adversary to activate, which will be number 4. So that'll be the first of the skeletons. So it'll actually be this skeleton here now. So rolling to see what the skeleton does. Cross swords is attack. And so the skeleton will take a shot into Sven here. Short range, hasn't had to move, so that'll hit for 2 points. Sven has his yellow for his armor. Nope, he'll take 2 wounds. We're then going to activate Sven. He's going to use his potion of mining healing. Now, he can re-roll this dice result, but he gets 2, so we are easily going to heal those 2 wounds we suffered. And then we are going to shoot back at close range, so we will be green, yellow, yellow. And we'll take a shot. That'll crit it, which will easily do enough damage now to take that skeleton out. And then we'll just move him up there. So that has been 2 activations. So we've got Vostag next. Vostag will make a move and an attack. So we'll come up here to the skelly. And it'll be green, red, yellow with our Orcish War Axe. And we crit again. So that'll be way too much damage for that skelly to take. He's gone as well. That'll be another victory point. But that'll be the end of the round. So we'll go into the event. The last one going into turn 8. Lost treasure, we place a master treasure chest on the gaming area no closer than 8 inches to controlled, any player controlled model. So we're going to place that.
Wait, I know you.
Today's video is brought to you by Baron of Dice, a premium wargaming dice that make your table come alive. Now, if you're looking for some great dice to suit an army you play on the tabletop in a variety of different games, go to Baron of Dice and check out their website. You can also use our discount code down in the video's description, which will help support the channel, but also nab you a cheap little discount. The dice you see pictured here are the official dice for Parabellum's Last Argument of Kings Conquest by them as well, which you can find on the Parabellum e-store as well. And so, top of 8 is beginning the last round of the game. We're going to start with Sven here. His first one, we're going to move here. And this will allow us to check here. It's open, so what do we get? It's trapped, oh dear. And so our trap is the Flaming Floor trap. So 2 yellow dice worth of damage onto Sven. For 2. Luckily we healed those things, so red to save. Sorry, Sven is yellow to save, sorry. Saves 1, so he takes that wound. But it was open, so we do gain a treasure card, which will be the Ancient Nord Bow. So he's also going to take a shot. We're going to take a shot at the skeleton that's up the top corner that came on from that lost treasure. So we will be green, yellow, yellow. Unfortunately, can't spend the turn equipping our bow. That'll hit just for a point of damage, so Skeleton will try and save. Saves 2 and does nothing to it. Then, last thing, first of the adversaries for this turn, we have a 6, so that is the Skeleton that Sven just shot. Seeing what it does after he shoots it, it's going to move, so it's going to just move onto an objective, which will be just there. Then it will attack him. The green, yellow, yellow back at him. Actually double green because it will be able to use the point of stamina and will hit for 2. Sven will now need to make a save on yellow. Saves 1, takes a wound. Lastly, Vostag will move up there and we're going to make an attack. So this will be, we're going to use our potion of minus stamina to begin with. Yep, so we regain all our stamina, which means we can do the power attack now. So it will be green, red, yellow. Also the aim strike. 3, that'll take us to 5. Vostag will do for 3 points of damage. Dragon will try and defend. It defends 1, takes 2, and is taken out. And so the last adversary for the game is number 2. That is the Draugr over there, actually. So we're going to see what it's going to do. Cross Swords on Path of Might is move, which will be into combat with Sven. So is he going to get taken out? No, critical fail. So that will end the game there. Though we've got one last thing to check, which is what is this objective up here with Vostag? That is aced. So that's an extra 2 VP. However, we have not completed 2 of the quests, which are Treasure Hunter and Wipe Them Out. So we lose the 2 points we effectively gain from that. But that means we will have a grand total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. We got a narrow victory, so close to getting that solid victory. But we do not get it. We fail by a single VP. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me, we have a Discord server for the channel, and that is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. This is either via Patreon or YouTube members using one of our affiliate links and codes down there, like Baron of Dice, Gap Games, or Mithras Games, or by supporting us directly on Patreon or YouTube members. If you'd like to do any of those, we have links for that all in the description. And as a special thank you to our Patrons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Soren, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Q Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallers, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And our YouTube members, Greenrich Gaming, Ronya, Lock Loric, The Johnny84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, and John Castle. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Once again, everyone, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.